Sounds like what we've been challenged with the last 48 hours.
Yes. Well, if you
It was
like
working
challenges, of
yesterday.
course, work with the web. Yes.
That's right. It was working yesterday.
Hmm.
Yeah, working yesterday doesn't mean a thing
No.
because what's new is every update, new bugs.
Hmm.
Oh, it's crazy last couple days. But I will say that Firefox is fast becoming my favorite browser.
Hmm.
Not yet, but it's really getting better. That's true.
Yeah, they just it seems to work better with what I'm doing.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I can shift to Firefox. I really don't want to shift everything because I got a lot of stuff on Google that
Me
I
too.
don't want to shift. It's a lot of
Me
trouble.
too. Now the thing with Chrome is that they are instituting the iframe rules, but yet not accepting the fix that they put out there yet.
Oh,
So we're still able to use iframes, but um, their flash protocols are are a little hinky. For instance, when I open up the meeting tools, I can say allow this flash to work, but it still doesn't work.
ah,
So, and in the meeting tools, that is running on Flash. So
hmm.
that's why I'm in Firefox
Yeah,
today.
but I wouldn't really build on Flash because Flash literally is almost dead.
It will be dead by 2020,
Yeah,
and we're working with Apache Open Meetings, and they're working on additional things to replace Flash, but that's what is
Yeah.
available right now.
Yeah, they're working on moving entirely to HTML5 base,
yeah,
but right now it's still Flash based.
And the connection is very clean and very clear.
The voice is incredibly
It
clear.
really is. So if you guys
yeah,
want to,
because they already support this for almost 20 years.
right. So if you want to look at that, you can click on the meeting tools button at the top and it will split your screen. Now it will require a separate registration. And right now we're keeping it that way for a couple of reasons, mostly for businesses that want to have this separate system.
And I think the other reason is just mainly so Miss Evie over here doesn't have to rewrite everything when they do start changing to HTML5.
Exactly. That has crossed my mind. Not to mention, I had to learn a completely new programming language I had never even heard of.
Well, it looks to me, I'm using Chrome, and it looks to me as if things are working pretty. Does voice carry indefinitely, or
Um, in WebRTC or in the Flash?
in here
Yeah, yeah. Well, it per room.
per room? But it does carry around and all over the room. That was what I was checking.
Correct. Yes, you can move all around. And we were able to get a dynamic channel set up so that now when a teacher joins, if you click on the menu button and then teleport, that we're not going to leave, just look at the directory. And you scroll down, you'll see those that are signed up as a teacher now have a classroom.
Hmm.
And so they would direct their students to enter their classroom, and then they would enter through the teacher directory. And that gives them their own classroom with their own voice channel.
Mm. So they've opened. They open up. Basically, you're creating a new classroom for each person, right? For each
Correct.
class teacher.
Correct. It's dynamic, thank goodness.
Hmm.
So it just pulls the relevant information and puts them in the classroom. And eventually they'll have choices for builds, but right now we just have the one classroom we saw last time.
Hmm. Well, various bills might be needed for different classes, but you wouldn't know those in advance.
Right, but we do have a plan to, for instance, with Leighton, we've been talking with him
Mm,
where he'll have his own system and he'll kind of have something like this, which will be proprietary to him. And instead of classrooms, it would be patients. And we
mm,
would enter their houses or he would enter their houses for therapy. And that
mm.
would give them a chance to check on, um, to change their environment. So
Ah,
say
the
they
so,
had 7 houses that Leighton has picked out, they can pick one of 7.
mm. So that would mean that they do it as they feel at home, place where
Yeah,
they
Correct.
feel at
yeah,
home, comfortable.
he's making virtual house calls as we were talking about it. So maybe make the person feel more at ease, a little more comfortable.
Hmm.
Right, and you can learn a lot from what people surround themselves by, so for him, that was important.
Oh, that's true. Hmm. No, I'll
Okay.
definitely want to do more of it, at least one video and maybe more than one on that.
Yes, we're gonna talk to him about picking out some builds and giving us ideas so we can, get on that. Maybe 2 or 3 month window, I would expect he'll have something working.
Hmm.
So now we're not going to show you today, but I did want to tell you that Bill and I worked out a system where someone can be in world and meaning in OpenSim, and they can be running a seminar presentation board, and
Hmm.
it will also change the slides and offer voice in the web world at the same
Ah,
time.
so they can come into either one.
Correct. So if you want to market it to all different people, those that want to enter the virtual world can, and those that want to do it virtually on the web can, but the presenter only has to do one thing.
Hmm.
As it works right now, the presenter is in OpenSim with a slideshow, just like a normal slideshow presenter that anybody would use in OpenSim. Except this one is tied in that when they change their slides in World via their HUD or by the slideshow board itself, it automatically updates the slide in Web Worlds. Or we could do it on a web page, but we're focused on inside Web Worlds. It
Hmm.
automatically updates the page. They don't have to the person watching it doesn't have to refresh the page or anything. It just automatically updates.
Hmm.
Right. So we're hoping to introduce that when we are able to get the webinar area up and running, which that is one of the next target areas because we have someone waiting to do a webinar. So